right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you again. It's the Righteous Gymbros. You've got Ryan, you've got Chaz. And today, we are going to talk about Weapons, the new horror flick that is out right now. It's been out now for a few weeks. I actually saw it the weekend before. Chaz just actually saw it last night. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to take this moment to thank everybody who's been checking out the channel. We are now at, Chaz, 30 subscribers.
Man, imagine that.
I know, imagine that, right? 30 subscribers. So to those who have subscribed,
tens and tens of
followers,
loyal fans.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Get the word out. Hit the like button, subscribe. We really do appreciate the follows. So with that being said, we're going to get right into it. So we're going to talk about Weapons. And Weapons is a new horror movie that's just come out.
Hold up.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Let's not call it a horror movie. Okay.
We're going to get into that.
I think we talked about this.
You're going to get...
We agreed this is not a horror movie.
You're going to get your time in the sun
this
here.
Is going to be interesting.
Hold on.
To quote another line of movie that I love.
We're going to get into that. So this movie getting a lot of run right now. So Rotten Tomato, I think it was at 93% just last time I checked.
Oof.
Also $200 million worldwide on a $38 million budget. So you're going to have a couple of reviews here from us. We're going to probably see something completely different. We usually see eye to eye, but I think I have a feeling this is going to be a different type of review.
It's going to be a doozy.
This will be a hoot.
It's going to be a doozy. This, to be fair, I'm more, I love watching horror thrillers. Chaz, this is something out of his comfort zone, a little bit out of his element, but he's going to be fair and objective, right?
Yes. A good movie is still a good movie, and a bad movie is still a bad movie.
Absolutely. So with that said, Chaz, you're going to hit lead off.
No. You're gonna go first.
I'm going to hit lead off today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna flip flop.
We're going to flip flop at this time
because I think I'm in the minority. So yeah, let's hear what you have to say about it.
Very well, very well. So Weapons. So Weapons is considered a horror movie, and again, this is no spoilers, but the summary of this movie is you have a teacher whose entire class disappears, and I think there's 17 of them in the class except for one student. And then what happens is town, family members of the students, they're upset. They want answers. They don't know what's going on. They have questions. They have questions. They think the teacher's involved. And so the story is trying to find out exactly what's going on. Okay. The other interesting thing about this is you're getting a story that is, you're seeing it through the eyes of different characters at different points of the movie. Okay. So without giving it away, but you're going to have a first person point of view, and they all kind of connect, right? Chaz, I got that right?
Yes.
If I remember.
And what are your thoughts on that, though?
I was okay with it. It was something different versus than just getting it from different pieces during the movie. So I give that a little bit of credit. So the story, to me, it made sense.
Okay.
You're going to have a character. Everybody's talking about Aunt Gladys. And Aunt Gladys is a character, again, without giving it away, that's basically becomes the focus of what you're trying to find out.
Yeah, but you don't even get to her until
you don't get to her probably midway through the movie.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
So we'll talk about that. But regardless, me and you we talked a little bit before we went here on the recording, and I will agree. One of the things me and you will agree on, that even though this is labeled a horror movie, I don't feel it's really a true horror movie.
Right.
It's going to have jump scares, just like any horror movie.
But this ain't Freddy Krueger, guys.
It's not Freddy Krueger, like serious Freddy Krueger, or got to be cheesy Freddy Krueger.
Well, I'm talking about Freddy Krueger 1.
Okay, well, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It's more, I would say, of a thriller.
Yeah.
with, I believe, a lot of comedy in it. And I say that because in a lot of horrors do have elements of comedy, but this one I've never been in a movie theater where I heard more laughs than gasps. So that was very interesting. But what I do like about the movie is the originality. It's something that I've never seen before. It's something completely different. And in my book, in what's going on right now in the movie world, I think that's sorely needed. So I found it to be entertaining. It did have its flaws. Okay. The ending left a lot for me to be desired. We talked about that as well. Yeah. There is a lack of backstory, and I'll let you go into that on your part. So there were some elements of that were flawed, but I think overall it didn't diminish enough for me to be like, oh, this is absolutely a terrible movie. And it's not something that's god awful. But Chaz, before we even get into the pump ratings, we're going to turn it over to you. Get your objective, fair opinion from somebody that's non-horror fan. Correct. And see what your thoughts are, because I really do want to hear what you think about this.
So basically, you're hanging your hat on originality and comedy, pretty much, is what your two biggest
originality,
strengths
comedy, and story. I like the story, the way it was told.
Okay, yeah, that was. Where do I start?
Very well. Where do I begin?
I'm 20, 30 minutes into this movie, and I'm just thinking, this is dumb. I'm sorry. I was like, is this going to go anywhere? It feels like it took so long to really take off. And honestly, for me, it never really took off. I kept thinking, okay, there's going to be a hook somewhere. It's going to be something, the end of the rainbow, light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to make all this other, I don't say boring stuff, but all this other kind of mundane storytelling mean something. And for me, it just didn't. It never really materialized the way that it should have. And like you said, you get there to the end and it just fell flat for me. The ending I feel was just. It was, kind of what you'd expect, I guess, or looking for. But also, too, there wasn't enough explanation, backstory. You have these events that are going on from people's perspectives and whatnot, but you never really. It all ties together, but at the same time, for me, it just wasn't as interesting as I wanted it to be. The perspectives and whatnot, each character's development, I thought that was okay. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to kind of see things from one person's point of view. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit, so it'll show you a scene, and then it'll kind of go back in time, maybe a day or so or whatever, and then you kind of figure out how that unfolds. So yes, there really hasn't been anything like this in terms of the story and the direction that it went. So I guess in some ways that is a little refreshing. Definitely not horror for me. It was funny in times. Now, you're not going to laugh all the way through. No. It's just little things here and there. I thought Josh Brolin did a really good job, and I thought
the acting was good.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, it for me, it could have been better. They could have done a better job with just kind of sucking you in and making it a little bit more interesting with the story. Mm-hmm. It could have tied together a lot better than it did, and it just never got there for me. And as far as Aunt Gladys goes, she just didn't have, I guess, a big enough impact really to the story. Maybe you can kind of comment on that, but she was a little bland, I guess. I guess is the best word to describe it. And it doesn't give you any backstory on Gladys. I mean, it kind of tells you who she is and what she's going through, and you can infer what she is.
That's where I think it's leading you to kind of make your own conclusions at that point. So I will agree that the impact it could have been a better impact because they didn't kind of lay a foundation. But what I will say is the Aunt Gladys character, the acting when she was in the scenes was terrific. And I knew as I was watching this movie, I was like, God, this lady looks familiar. And it's Amy Madigan. And if for those of you who probably don't know Amy Madigan, like Field of Dreams, one of my favorite movies.
That, and
she plays the wife of Kevin Costner. She plays Annie. What I can't think of the last name right now. I'm going blank. But she was in Field of Dreams. So I was like, oh, that's her. She was phenomenal. But I agree that the impact could have been more. There is things left to be desired to this movie
Very
that they could have been. And that's part of where I think it fails a little bit, but not enough to sink it, at least in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and see, you would think him being a fan of the horror genre and whatnot, that from the way I interpreted the movie, that you would be more disappointed, and I would probably be, saying, oh, it wasn't bad, but I guess I just felt like if it's going to be called a horror movie, there needs to be more of that there. And I'm not saying there weren't elements of it, but it's not one extreme or another.
I agree. And I will say this, if you're going to go see a horror movie, and I think most people want to be scared, they want to feel that emotion and ride that along. I never felt that. I was never scared. Now it takes a lot for me to be scared and that kind of stuff, but I can kind of go with it and try to let myself go and be scared. But I was never like, oh God, that just came out of nowhere. Besides jump scares, but if you watch enough movies, you expect to know when those spots are going to hit. So that's why I think it falls more of kind of a thriller. There's elements of creepiness. I do like creepy in my horror movies. I'm not a gore person. Something like Saw or Terrifier, kind of not really my thing, but more of the creepy supernatural is kind of really what I like.
And there were elements of it being creepy or whatever, but I guess for me, I wanted it to maybe take it to the next level, be even more creepy, I guess, so to speak, since it wasn't really the horror. It's not a slasher film or anything like that. Take it a step further, make you be on the edge of your seat, like, okay, what's going to happen in this scene, and it just, they didn't have any of that. So I don't want to say it was lazy, but I do feel like they could have done a better job, again, just really keeping you on the edge of your seat and being like, all right, what's going to happen?
There's nothing in the movie that is, I think, to your point, and I will agree, that you're waiting and it's just going to kill over, like, boom, there it is, and it just kind of just goes. It's kind of just incrementally, like little things here and there, and it just kind of stays here with kind of like a little blip every now and then. And it's not a true crescendo, is what you're talking about.
Yes. So I feel like they do a good job with the way they told the story.
Yes.
From each person's perspective. But it's like, man, when you're doing that, I felt like it needed to lead up to something more. It just very flat.
Yeah.
Across the
board. It was just kind of with blips. Now I will say the payoff is good. The payoff is worth it. Not the very, very end, but there's something that, the whole thing, somebody gets what's coming to them kind of thing, that you'll get that. So it's that time, Chaz. It's that time. Do you want to kick it off, or?
Sure. Why not? I'm usually going first.
All right.
2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
This is a 5-pump system, not a 5-star rating system. Chaz is going to take the good old dumbbell and give us some pumps.
This is what we call a quickie, boys and girls.
All right, here we go.
We got one. We're going to stop at 2.
2.
Congratulations.
Stop at 2.
Well, 2.
You achieved failure.
That was better than World of Worlds.
Okay. I was starting to sweat there. He had me sweating. I'm like, is it better than World of Worlds? What do you think? And he kept kind of just leaving.
I came out of the theater saying, Ryan, I feel like watching World of Worlds right now.
I'm like,
I feel like watching Superman
we
right
lost
now.
all credibility on that. We're losing all credibility with that. So,
and I've got so many issues with Superman.
You do. You have a personal vendetta against Superman right now.
It is grievances.
But
All right,
Anyway,
let's see where you're at.
So here's where I'm at. All right. 1, 2.
Actually, gonna get a little pump in.
3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 3.
Yeah, buddy.
3.
I will allow it.
3. I will allow it. Thank you for allowing that. So
strict but fair.
It's strict but fair. It's 3. It had great acting in it. Josh Brolin, Amy Madigan.
It was good storytelling.
Good
I will
story
say
to
that.
it.
It just fell flat.
I didn't even ask you this. What did you think about that quick Justin Long cameo in there?
Dude, hey, that's why I got a 2.
Okay?
Oh, and not a 1.5.
Justin Long cameo?
Brandon St. Randy.
My name is Brandon St. Randy.
Oh,
is in the movie.
Oh, this video done train wrecked.
I'm thinking of something.
You done brought up Brandon St. Randy?
Hey, go check that out.
For those that don't know, just figure it out. Oh my God, this
awesome
scene. This is gonna be our worst one yet. All right.
Well, hey, another veteran of the horror genre, Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers, yes, Justin Long.
No, that's a horror movie.
I don't think you saw Barbarian. He was in Barbarian. For those of you who are horror aficionados, Barbarian, you will remember him in that movie.
No, but he was good in Jeepers. That was a decent movie.
Hey, and what about Benedict Wong in there? What do you think about
Wong?
Benedict?
Makes it be, yeah, he's good.
Wong's good. So, for me, good acting, good story. It has its flaws, just like a lot of movies. Could have had some better rises in action at certain spots, but it's not enough for me to sit there and say that this is absolutely terrible movie. The originality, if you want to go see something different, like this is weird and bizarre, you'll be entertained.
It is bizarre, but for me, it did leave a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. And if you watch it, you will see that the way that they run in it is just bizarre. There's no explanation given. I spoke my piece.
He spoke his piece.
You know where I stand.
I'm just glad you went and saw the movie.
I did.
It was like
2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
It was rough. I almost had to beg for him to go watch this movie. But
yeah, next time I'm just gonna watch Joker 2 and call it a day. And with that, bombshell.
With that, we'll see you at the movies.
We'll see you in the gym.
This is